Welcome to Pots, Pans, and Pioneers. Today I'm going to be making shrimp Couvillion to mix in all kinds of different seafood. But you'll be hard pressed to find a shrimp Couvillion recipe on Google, so I thought, or on YouTube even, and I thought I would go ahead and show you how my grandmother and my mother have shown me how to make the recipe. So let's get started. I have 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I have a teaspoon of real organic butter. And the butter's melted, and the olive oil, it's all incorporated. I'm going to turn my skillet on about medium, and I'm going to start to build a roux. And if anybody's ever cooked anything Cajun, or you don't know what roux is flour and oil. And it actually creates a thickness just like cornstarch or arrowroot would in food, because you want your gravy to be thick. So I'm going to get the oil heated up here, and then I'm going to add in a scoop of flour. And you can just use all-purpose flour. If you don't want to add salt, the all-purpose is the best to use. If you do want to add salt to your flour, you could use self-rising, but I wouldn't use, too much of it. So I'm just shaking a little bit of flour in here, and I'm going to start to build my roux. And all you're doing is you're mixing the flour into the butter and the oil, and you're just wanting like a thick consistency. We're going to get it up to be really like a paste. Something that is going to be thick when we add all of our liquid ingredients in here. So you can see it's kind of bubbling up. We want to make sure that you can't see any little white specks of flour, that it's all incorporated. And just to show you the consistency, it's a little bit runny. We're going to let it sit here for a minute and get kind of thick. You can add more flour to make it go faster, but you run more risk of having the flour burn on you, and you don't want to do that because it'll make the food taste horrible. So we're really just wanting sort of like a creamy type, gravy that's going to get a little bit pasty. We want it right before it gets super thick. I'm going to turn up the fire a little bit. Just gonna get it all incorporated and really get that thickness. At this stage, it's a little getting close to almost ready, getting a little bit thicker. I'm going to add a little bit of I've got colored, red, orange, and yellow bell pepper in here, and I'm going to add just a little bit. This is a smaller recipe than what I have on my blog, but you can find the entire recipe on potspansandpioneers.com. And I'm just going to incorporate, we don't want this roux to get too dark, so I'm going to turn my fire way down. And I always just wait for the fragrance of all the ingredients. I'm adding garlic, green onions, and celery, dried celery in this case. I don't have any fresh celery right now. And I'm just going to mix it. Together. Get it kind of thick. Turn my fire down. You don't want this roux and butter to burn on you. At this stage, I'm going to add some organic crushed tomatoes, and it does have a little bit of basil in it, but not enough to really make a difference. Turn my fire way down. Get it all incorporated because it'll splatter on you. And then I'm going to add a can of tomato sauce. So that's going to boil up a little bit and get all incorporated. And I'm going to add a cup of water to this. I'm going to use filtered water. And we're just going to have this just really get incorporated. So what you're wanting is just a really thick, in Louisiana they call this a red gravy. So this is the thickness you're wanting. You want to be able to taste the tomatoes and all of the different vegetables that you threw in here. The recipe on the blog is for a larger recipe, and it's the actual recipe from my mother that she got from her mother, so it's a little bit larger. I don't have that big of a family, so I'm not trying to feed a lot of people. Now I'm going to add in some Creole seasoning, and I'm just going to shake. I've got it on just the whole shaker there, and I'm going to go ahead and stir it in again. I just want it to get incorporated. I've got my stove on medium again. I don't want it to boil over. I'm just trying to mix and incorporate it. At this point, you can taste. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. I use all-purpose flour, so I don't have salt in there. I just shook a little bit of salt in there. You could use kosher salt. That's just organic table salt, but you could use kosher. I've got kosher salt over here. And I've got 2 cups of white rice. You could use brown rice if you're trying to health it up. I've got 2 cups of rice, and we're going to, once we add our shrimp, we're going to, when we plate it, we're going to have white rice underneath it. My grandmother used to fry French fries with this dish and serve it with French fries or potato salad, and that sounds strange to most people, but if you've ever had French fries with this, you'll understand why she did it. It's very, very, very good. So the first half of this is about 10 minutes of cooking. We all know that shrimp doesn't take very long to cook at all, and if you let shrimp cook too long, it becomes rubbery. So you don't want most of your cooking. You want that to be done without your shrimp in it, so that you don't have, you don't have rubbery shrimp. Nobody wants to bite into that. So you can see the bell peppers, the onions, the garlic. I've got a little bit of garlic in here. My grandmother didn't have access to garlic, and she didn't grow garlic, so I doubt that she had garlic in hers, but I like it because it enhances the flavor. I've even seen some Cajun women pour in white wine, and that really brings a different flavor too. So I've got some peeled, deveined, and tail-off wild Baja shrimp I'm going to pour in here. This is only a pound. Again, this is for a small amount of people. And we're going to cook this for about 10 minutes, and then we can serve it. So I'm going to get all my shrimp in here. I want to go slow because you don't want this backing up on you and burning you. You want to be very, very, very careful. And we want to turn our temperature up because we want to get the shrimp in there cooking. We're swimming in the pot. And I'm going to add a little bit more water. Shrimp Creole has a different flavor. They put a lot of other herbs that's not included in this recipe. So most Cajuns are going to fill this full of hot sauce. I've seen people add jalapenos to it. I've seen people add lots of Louisiana hot sauce, lots of cayenne pepper. I don't like spicy food, so I wouldn't add that to this, but you could. If you like spicy food, absolutely could. And what you're wanting is just the shrimp. Okay, everybody, we're back. I've got some white rice on a plate here, and I'm going to all you do is pour your shrimp Couvillion over your rice. You can add as much or as little shrimp as you want. This is the outcome. Taste it. So I'm going to put a little bit of parsley, organic dried parsley, on top of it. And I think you'll love this recipe. It's a super fast if you're a single mom and just want to run home and cook something. Tastes just like my mama's. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this recipe. If you would like to go to my blog at potsandpansandpioneers.com, you'll be able to just click a button and print off the recipe. You can add it to your recipe box. Be sure and click the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and I'll bring you more videos in the coming week. Everybody have a great day. Thanks.